Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we are going to deal with principles and objectives of foreign policy of Pakistan. So first of all, I would like to discuss the principles of Pakistan's foreign policy. So these are some of the cardinal elements through which our country is going to keep her relations with the rest of the world. So the first element or the first principle of our foreign policy is protection of freedom and sovereignty. This is an important principle of Pakistan's foreign policy, that she is more concerned with the freedom of our country, in which people are easy to move freely, to have freedom of thought, freedom of expression, freedom of assembly, and above all, it is only possible if we are totally free from internal and external aggressions. And its sovereignty. Sovereignty is also an important phenomena which we must protect from all quarters. Though we can say that in today's world, no country can claim to be sovereign, either in terms of defense strategies or in terms of economic strategies or other treaties and alliances for the sake of business, for the sake of trade, for the sake of commerce, for the sake of collective security, for the sake of economic interests. The second basic principles of Pakistan's foreign policy is to seek cordial relations with Muslim countries. She is more concerned with holding and maintaining cordial or friendly relations with the Muslim countries. It is for this sake that the OIC, ECO have been established in order to have a good projections of the Islamic countries in the world. But again, I would say that the Muslim countries have, even among themselves, have some skirmishes, have some conflict of interests that have led to their differences of opinion on some of the basic issues of the world. So what we need and what is more needed is to create unity and harmony among all the Muslim countries of the world. The third principle is non-interference in the internal affairs of other countries. So this again is an important phenomenon in which Pakistan doesn't need to interfere in the internal affairs of either the neighboring countries or the non-neighboring countries, the Muslim countries, the non-Muslim countries, irrespective of any religion, racism, etc. And the fourth one is the implementation of the UN Charter. What is more important and what is more relevant is, what does the UN Charter says about the human rights, the freedom, the security, the economic affairs, and other geostrategic and geopolitical phenomena about a particular country or in general forms. So it is in view of this that Pakistan has to station her military forces for peacekeeping under the UN Charter in some of the countries, including the Bosnia, Saudi Arabia, etc. at a time. Another important principle of Pakistan's foreign policy is promotion of world peace. This is a very important principle to which Pakistan, along with the rest of the world, have to work out strategies, have to carve out strategies by promoting peace and prosperity in the world through peaceful negotiations of disputes, through diplomacy, through table talks, and make efforts to promote peace. It is also in this perspective that Pakistan is siding with the United States to bring peace and harmony in Afghanistan, and have been making efforts to bring to the table United States with the Taliban, the intra-Afghan talks in Qatar, Doha. Non-alignment is another important principle which seeks the non-involvement of Pakistan in the internal and external affairs of the rest of the world or countries of the world. Another important thing is support for self-determination and condemnation of racial discrimination. Self-determination. Pakistan has been supporting the cause of Kashmir, cause of Palestine, and some other countries. They have been fighting for the cause of their self-determination and has been condemning the racial discrimination where there has been discrimination on racial grounds. Another important principle of Pakistan's foreign policy is the nuclear non-proliferation and disarmament. Now, this nuclear non-proliferation and disarmament, earlier many treaties have been there. The NPT, the CTBT treaties, they were there to enable the world to do away with this proliferation of armaments and make all the countries disarm and make efforts and strategies so as nuclear weapons may not spread and the world may become a better place to live. Another important thing is member of international organizations. Pakistan, after its coming into being in 1947, became a member of the United Nations on 30th September 1947, and now at the same time it is a member of many regional and international organizations, and for that sake has to take efforts to become a partner in some cases with the rest of the world. So this is all about some of the principles that Pakistan has to follow and the formulation of foreign policy. So I would like also to share a brief sketch that No country today can think of a life independent of other nations. Every country has to develop relations with other countries so as to meet its requirements in economical, industrial, and technological fields. It is thus necessary for every country to formulate a sound foreign policy. Pakistan is an important third world country in its developmental stage. It also has formulated her foreign policy keeping in mind its geography, politics, and economics. Definition and description of foreign policy. Now, foreign policy of a country is in a sense a projection of its internal policies, that is social, political, and economic. It centers upon three basic areas, that is social, political, and economic. Foreign policy dictates how a country will act with respect to other countries politically, socially, economically, and militarily, and to somewhat lesser extent how it behaves towards non-state actors. Now, non-state actors are those actors that do not have a due share in the politics, or we may say they are the non-stakeholders in the politics of the country. And non-stakeholders, it include globalization, religion and politics, and all those organizations and groups that go against the interest of the states. It is a strategy or combination of strategies carefully formulated by one state for maintaining relationship with other states and non-state actors for protection and promotion of national interests. So, what did the Qaid say about foreign policy of Pakistan? The father of the nation, Qaid Azam, defined foreign policy towards other countries of the world in 1947 as follows: our foreign policy is one of friendliness and goodwill towards all the nations of the world. We don't cherish aggressive designs against any country or nation. We believe in the policy of honesty and fair play in national and international dealings and are prepared to make our utmost contribution to the promotion of peace and prosperity among the nations of the world. Pakistan will never be found lacking in extending its material moral support to the oppressed and suppressed peoples of the world and in upholding the principles of the United Nations Charter. So this definition by Qaid Azam is very much extensive in encompassing most of the basic principles of foreign policy of Pakistan, because he has dealt with the foreign policy of Pakistan in a very brief and concise way, such as not to cherish aggressive designs against any country. It was an important principle that Pakistan hasn't to cherish any aggressive design against any country of the world. And again, there is belief in the policy of honesty and fair play in international and national politics while dealing with the rest of the world is also an important principle. He also talked about this promotion of peace and prosperity among the nation. It is in this parlance that Pakistan has been promoting peace, prosperity, and security in the world as its important basic principles. And it was also an important principle in Qaid's view that Pakistan would not be found lacking in extending its material and moral support to the oppressed and suppressed people of the world. So, Pakistan has to support the morally, I wouldn't say the word morally. Pakistan has to support the oppressed, or rather the downtrodden people of the community, are that is those who are facing troubles and hardships, and it is aggression from the countries, from the foreign aggressors, etc., and have to abide by the principles of the United Nations Charter. That is all from my side. Thank you.